Right. So the next thing that we would like to see is the important factors are privacy first. Next comes security, because we have access to personal data, etc. And one of the important security is, so there was a comparison between what we did as a contact tracing in India versus some other countries' contact tracing. Now, in some other countries' contact tracing, if suppose I have installed Arogya Setu, I have installed the contact tracing app, and I test positive, I voluntarily go and tell to the centralized server, hey, I have tested positive. It's a voluntary act. I may not even say that. So that is the level of way by which they wanted the other country had done. Now, when we look at that type of a setup here, what would be the flip of that? The flip of it is, suppose I want to create a tension at a place. I want to propagate fake information. What I can do is, I can install Arogya Setu, I will go to a slightly crowded place, crowded market, and I'll keep moving across people. And then I'll go and self-certify saying I am positive. So an entire bunch of people will now get panicky, right? Right. So that is the other flip side of allowing a patient themselves to mark themselves, allowing a person themselves to mark themselves as positive. If they mark themselves as positive, what will happen? Then there is a potential for a miscreant to create a fake information and essentially create chaos. So this is the balance that we wanted to do. And so we said that if some patient is positive, it is a centralized server which will decide and make that person positive, rather than the person self-declaring themselves as positive. So these are some of the thought process that you need to come up. When you are designing the system, there is a very clear balance between the decisions that you have made, specifically from a security angle and also a privacy angle. And that balance we need to arrive. And this is how we arrived at that balance here. Now, let us look at the intermediary. The intermediary here is our mobile phone, the smartphone, right? And of course, it was also available on the Geo feature phone, right? So the mobile phone through the apps, so the mobile phone has this iOS Apple Store and Google Play Store. So these apps were available, so people could download that. So the mobile phone through the app downloaded from these sites. So there is also some sort of an evaluation that is done both by Apple and Google before admitting these apps into the Play Store or the Apple Store. The mobile phone stores the sensed data that is sensed through this Bluetooth in an encrypted form. And this is also, what is the role of an intermediary here? Not sensing the data, sense it and store it in an encrypted form. So the encryption actually forms a very important point of your intermediary level in this case, right? And it in an encrypted form. And the other point is it interfaces with the cloud, essentially. So that's the first part. The second part is there is something called a data retention policy. For example, today, let us take a bank. Bank is something everybody will know. I'm taking bank example. So today, I'll draw a parallel of this in bank. How do you extend this case study to a bank? So you have an ATM, right? In the ATM, there is every time we are going to get this what do you call the camera feeds, right, from the ATM, right? And if all the camera feeds of all the ATM is dumped into a server at the same point of time, it is a huge infrastructure, and many times this data will not be used. It is such a huge amount of data that somebody can't process. So what the other decision is, store it at that place itself. Store the camera that you put on the ATM itself. It can basically store this information for quite some time. And when there is a need, you go and take it from that. Correct? This is exactly the same model that this is happening. Then what happens here? I keep on storing. Then I need infinite storage there. So what we do? Okay, in 15 days or 1 month or 6 months, there will be a data retention policy. So at the end of that time period, the camera there, the system there, the intermediary level there, the camera, the photo, the lens, this is the basic edge. Then there is an intermediary system which is controlling that camera. That system will retain the data for some specific amount of time and then discard it. So this is also very important when you build large scale systems. Scale means scalable. I have to solve the problem for billion people, not one people or two people, right? So when you want to scale, I can't keep everything. I need to know what to discard, what to keep, right? And also the general data protection rule, the GDPR and also data protection bill will insist that the data cannot be kept over a period of time. So there should be a data retention policy and a data discarding policy, right? So in this case of Arogya Setu, to sum up, the data that you are collecting cannot be infinitely stored for two reasons. One thing, the system will become too big, the infrastructure will become too big. The second thing is that there is a privacy angle to this, where you say that we will discard the data. There is a sunset clause. This is called sunset clause for every data that you are taking. So these two, from a privacy angle, from a system design angle, the data need to be discarded, and that is very, very important. So in this case of Arogya Setu, that it will discard the data, so that mobile phone will be collecting all the sense data, and all data that is more than 15 days old, it will go and discard. And then it also allows the user to upload self-assessment like symptoms. It's not just I come in contact, I'm also say I'm having fever, or I'm having cough, I am having loss of taste or smell, I have some difficulty in breathing. All these things you can do a self-assessment and send. So these are all the basic things that the intermediary, that is your mobile phone, will do. Right? And then now we go to the cloud level. What is this cloud level? Cloud level is where all these data goes. So what will the cloud level do? The cloud level will, all the self-assessment done by these users will get uploaded on the cloud. And for all positive patients, the cloud will be responsible to confirm that they are positive. Already explained why, right? So the cloud will be responsible for confirming them as positive. And once a particular person tests positive, then what the cloud will do, it will go to that mobile number and it will take all the contact traces in that mobile number. So A has test positive, so all that is stored in A's mobile will be, then only it will be taken. So there is a policy here that I am not going to take the information from a mobile unless I need it, right? And when who is certifying that I need it? There is a database which essentially says the owner of this mobile number has become positive. And the moment I know that you are positive, there is a lab report which says that you are positive, then only I am taking this information. Otherwise, I am not taking this information. And this is also a very, very important step that we need to take here. Okay. So for all positive tested patients, the server will say confirm that they are positive, and then it will pull up all the contact traces. Now, once the contact traces has come, then there is an epidemiological model. This is where the subject expert comes, right? The subject expert here is an epidemiologist who says, hey, okay, he now has a model. So this is the distance, this is the proximity, and this is the time. So this is the distance and this is the time. Based on this, okay, I can classify a patient. So A has tested positive. Now there is one B who is at distance half a meter and spent 10 minutes. There is another C who is again half a meter but spent only 2 minutes. There is a D who spent 4 meters away but spent half an hour. Okay, so variety of things can come here. And then these epidemiologists hello, please mute yourself. There's somebody who is unmuted. So the epidemiologist actually has to basically certify or basically come out with a model saying hey, so this is the distance, and so this is the distance, and this is the, this is the distance, and this is the time spent. Based on that, we should go and say, yeah, okay, he has a chance. So now A, there is a B, C, and D. B was at distance 2 meters and spent, say, 10 minutes. C is at a distance of 2 meters but spent only 1 minute. D is at a distance of 4 meters but spent half an hour. Now I can say, okay, B, you should go and test him because there is a high risk for him to have contracted the disease. C, maybe he's at a low risk, just ask him to be careful. And D, he doesn't have any risk, he was 4 meters away, so there's no issue. So somebody has to come and tell us this. And who does this? The subject matter expert, the epidemiologist, actually comes and says. So the epidemiological model analyzes the contact trace information got from the mobile number of a positive tested patient to classify each contact as high risk or moderate risk or low risk. And then what happens? You send information back to the mobile of the traced DIDs on the classification. So now A has tested positive, B, C, D, all these three fellows' mobile ID is there. So we sent a mobile to B, saying information to B, because now I know the mobile ID, the centralized server will know the mobile number. I sent to B saying, hey, you have come in touch with some patient, some COVID positive patient, so better go and test. You have a high risk. To C, I say you have a low risk. For D, I say D, I don't inform because he doesn't have any risk. Right? Now, when we send this information to somebody saying you came in contact with somebody who has tested positive, go and test yourself, we are not telling with whom you came in contact with. Right? So the privacy and the anonymity is actually preserved there. Right? In addition, the cloud will also give additional information to users, like the infection spread in the proximity, next 50 meters, 100 meters, how many people have tested positive, how many Arogya Setu users have tested positive, etc. And it will also give information about nearby test centers if you want to go and test, etc. So these are the very interesting and important things that come out of this cloud. Right? And as you see, it has been privacy driven, security driven, and performance driven, while we try to maintain the functionality, our objective of contact tracing. Right. Now we have a lot of data, right? Now we have to make some use of this. So I'm coming to the inference, use and inference part. We were getting some 200,000 self-assessments plus trace per day, and even today. Can all these self-assessments, can a single entity follow this up? Can I have a single entity who can make 200,000 calls saying, how are you, what is happening, etc.? How do you physically reach them? Somebody says, I have a cough. You have to go test. How do you physically reach them? Please note that such systems will become useless if you don't have these follow-up actions. Somebody says, I'm having fever. Why is he coming and telling you? Right? He's coming and telling you, he or she is coming and telling you because you will take some action to help him out, help him or her out. So these systems will become useless without these follow-up actions. And that is precisely why we took this location information. There were some international institute who gave us 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 because we are taking location information. But they had to revise now because this is location information becomes extremely crucial here. Now what we did was we took this location information and classified it into this level. So I could have states, within states we have districts, within districts we have pin codes, within pin codes we have sub-post offices. India has 1,55,625, little here and there, 625 sub-post offices. 1,55,625 sub-post offices. Now every location, the GPS location that we are getting, we map on to some sub-post office. Now this essentially becomes actionable. Now we can tell every state, every district within state, every pin code within that the district can download this report and find out every sub-post office within that pin code now can download and find out how many people are there in that sub-post office whom they have need to attend. So essentially, the job now gets distributed across, right? And this is right, and this is very, very important. And that is the real crux of trying to build this whole stuff, right? So with this latitude and longitude, we were able to point out to which sub-post office this person belongs to. So now what we provide to the health department, health workers is, I am belonging to a sub-post office. I am a health worker in, say, sub-post office, say Mylapore, to which I belong to. If I am a health worker and I am authorized by my health department of the state, then I get access to, I get the list of people whom I need to phone up, who have done their self-assessment from Mylapore, so that I could call them and I could take some remedial actions. I could refer them to a doctor, I could go home, make a test, and all these things. And several people have benefited out of that. So one of the things that we need to keep in mind, that ultimately the system should give out certain actionable output. And that is where many systems are failing, in the sense that we are not giving actionable output. Right. Now, I am a computer scientist by profession, so I can't give a lecture without talking a bit about computer science. Now, let me just tell you, just for the curiosity, where computer science becomes extremely important, right? It is not just data analytics, is not just about learning a database, how to visualize data, etc. But there is also a very, very important notion of computer science that we need to touch, and I'll give you some one or two examples of this computer science notion here, right? So what is the problem here? So I am given a lat long and I need to map it on to the closest sub-post office. Every sub-post office also has a lat long. So given an arbitrary lat long, a query lat long, I should find out which is the closest sub-post office to which it maps. I have all the lat longs of all the sub-post offices. I am now a user. I am having, so for me the sub-post office is Mylapore sub-post office. I am sitting at some place within Mylapore. I have a lat long. Now this lat long has to be mapped on to Mylapore sub-post office, so that if an action has to be taken, it will come to that sub-post office, right? So we need a queryable structure, and this cannot just be a database. If you just use a database, it will kill, because you have huge number of data flowing, and it cannot be just a query. So this is how we did. This is a very simple exercise. So what we do is that whole India we divided into 100 meter by 100 meter grids. So this is a huge grid. This is a very small one. But it will be much more minuscule than this. So we have divided the whole India into 100 meter cross 100 meter grids, and it will be several thousands of these grids. And every post office lat long mapped onto a box in this grid, right? So every lat long can be in one of this grid, right? So Mylapore will be somewhere in the middle of this. I'm just moving this cursor here, somewhere here. There'll be a small grid here to which Mylapore will be. So given a query point, I'm now giving a query point. I'll find the box B to which it belongs to, and then search for the closest box to B, which is mapping a pin code. This will give me the sub-post office which is closer. So at every sub-post office, we provide the trace and caller list based on this. To make it little more, now these are the grids, right? And say, this is the query point. This is the box. Now I will find out if there is a sub-post office within this box. If not, within this one. Otherwise, I will go and search within this 2. Otherwise, I'll go and search within this 3. Otherwise, I'll go and search within this 4. Okay. And let us say that there is a sub-post office here. The closest one to this will be this. Right. So this is how I search. So I search this box. Then I'll go and search these set of boxes. Then the boxes number 3 and 4. Right. So this is the search process. Now, the whole India is divided into grids of 100 meter cross 100 meter, means that grid size will be very, very large. But in this very large grid size, please note that the supposed office are only 1,55,000. So I need to store only 1,55,000 boxes. The other boxes are empty. So this grid is very large, but it is very sparse. Sparse in the sense not every box will have a supposed office, right? So now we go and handle such large sparse matrices here, and so we use techniques like hashing, floor function, etc. to quickly do this. Okay, so there is a lot more of computer science that is involved. What I'm trying to convince is, I'm not trying to explain the solution in full, but I'm trying to convince you that there is indeed in this whole stuff, there is indeed a lot of computer science that need to do in addition to the data science and data this thing. So, and understanding that this need not actually need a computer science degree to address this. This can be done by anybody, but then the intuition has to come. Like breaking area into grids did not start with computer science. It started with mechanical engineering. It started with civil engineering. In civil engineering, I make a concrete structure. I go and give let me say I'm evaluating it for seismological reason, right? When there is an earthquake, what will happen to the structure? So the way we need to test it is we make a mathematical model of that concrete structure, go and give a disturbance at one point and see how the disturbance is percolating to the other points. Will the building shake or etc., 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 right? And for doing that, what they do is something called finite element methods. What is finite element method? They just take that entire thing and break it into small grid boxes, and in each box they go and start doing some action, right? And this is precisely what we are doing. So the idea for this actually came from mechanical engineering or chemical engineering or metallurgy or civil engineering or aerospace, for example, not from the computer science. But then you need a computer program to execute this. What I'm trying to impress upon all of you is this is the beauty of these type of cyber physical systems, the interdisciplinary nature of these cyber physical systems, right? Now, the next part is deriving some insights. I have got a lot of data. What is it that I can derive? What sort of insights that I can derive? Statistics actually played a very crucial role here. So based on the self-assessment and the trace details, statisticians actually performed what we call as a syndromic mapping, which predicts the presence and spread of the disease in a given area, which can be mapped onto the supposed office areas, right? So because every area has a lat long and we know which is the closest supposed office. So by this, we can go and classify every supposed office as a high risk area or a very high risk or moderate risk or low risk area. And pointed areas within the supposed post office where the exposure is maximum. These things we could say. So many people are calling from here. So there is some issue here. Go test. And what we provide to the people is only aggregate information and not the personal mobile information in these cases. We are giving an aggregate information. Oh, so many people are there. Some 100 people are there from this area. We will not say which 100 for this type of an activity. And there again, this privacy and anonymity is maintained here, right? And so what happened is across the country, we were in a position to go and say so much of area is there, so much of these areas are high risk, go and do some action there. We were able to give these type of pointers to the different state health departments. And this actually enabled what we call as the catch early, contain early protocol, which was actually conceived by the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, and further this was adopted by multiple districts of Gujarat, right? And so what happened as a part of this? So May 27th, we got this Arogya Setu to pinpoint future hotspots in Ahmedabad. And so May 27th is where they started putting many of these things into place. Times of India reported this on May 27th. And by July 23rd, right, we actually, there was a forecast which said that Ahmedabad will be in a very bad position. After it reaches the peak, it will take several months for it to come down to a manageable level. but within 2 weeks, they brought it down into a manageable level. And I must tell you, from July to today, we are in October, almost November, the cases in Ahmedabad have been within 150 per day to 200. While in Chennai, we were having something like 2,000, many places like Mumbai, Thane, so many places, there were very high numbers, but they were able to maintain the same 150 to 200 for the last several months now. And the death rate also has come down to 2 or 3 per day, which is very, very, looking at Ahmedabad. So this is again July 23rd report. On comparison of COVID-19 numbers on June 17th and July 17th, 1 month, data revealed that cases came down from 330 to 187, half of it for the district, while deaths dipped from 22 to 5, it's 1/4. And this is what, a data-driven system, a good use of the data-driven system. It's nothing that what we did, but it's actually the end user, the user of the data, actually put it into very good use, and that is what we could achieve. Saving lives is something that is very close to heart, very, very important, and very satisfying if somebody gets saved because of the system you developed. Right? So the two real reasons behind success of such systems, and as a case study, I want to sum up with this. Please note that data that you are getting will be just like a play card. For example, if you go to ECR, right, there will be a play card which says Pondicherry is 160 kilometers from this. That play card will not travel with you. It will just say this is 100 kilometers, right? Now, you only have to travel. Okay, data is just nothing but a play card which will basically say in this way you go, this is the distance. So this is always a prediction, and this is very important for anybody who is conceiving the system. You should basically understand this in a great detail, and and that should be very, very clearly articulated in your thought process. Okay, so data is only a play card which will tell you a place X is 100 kilometers from here. The play card will not travel with you. Okay. So a dedicated team at Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation actually worked round the clock, and that is why they got this success, right? So, and people also did submit the self-assessment and carried mobile phone keeping Bluetooth on. This is a societal responsibility. So the end user and the person who is using the data, they actually made, they actually gave a commitment to the society, and they lived up to that commitment to see that the pandemic is under control. So this is also a very important. So why I'm bringing here is that ultimately the end user, the customer, has to use your system very well, irrespective of whichever system you are going to develop. And how do we do that? So this is the last part. This is where the humanities come in. There is a lot of human aspects here, right? First and foremost, there should be a trust that this app is serving you and the country. Second thing is, it can be deleted. If you are not comfortable, you can go and delete it at any point of time. So these are the things that we try to tell the public, and many of them agree. And please note that trust itself, trusting a system, that is going to be extremely important for any data analytics driven system. Trust itself is a concept that actually transcends all mathematical properties that imply a definition. You want to define trust. A equal to B means what? This equal to is a relation. This relation should be reflexive, means A equal to A. Reflection, the relation should be symmetric. A equal to B means B equal to A. The relation should be transitive. A equal to B and B equal to C means A equal to C. So that equal to is a relation that is reflexive, A equal to A, symmetric, A equal to B means B equal to A, transitive, A equal to B and B equal to C means A equal to C. So these three relations have to be satisfied there. If you take trust, it is not reflexive. Some days I don't trust myself. It is not symmetric. I trust you, you don't trust me. Transitive. A trusts B, B trusts C, A need not trust C. So all the definitions of the relation basically reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. All these are not applicable in the case of dress. So that itself makes it a monkey. Now, that itself makes it a monkey. Now that monkey becomes drunken and bitten by a scorpion because of the other two reasons. First thing, it's very contextual. I trust you on something, I don't trust you on something else. And then it becomes temporal. Morning I'll trust you, evening I'll not trust you, tomorrow morning I'll trust you, tomorrow afternoon I'll stop trusting you. So this is all some so trust is a very, very important, and that is where humanities and social sciences play a very important role in developing such systems. The moment you start developing such systems in the cyber physical world, we need a lot of inputs from the humanities who will evaluate your tool in the context of others, in the context of the end user, and tell you what you need to do to make this trustable. And then the concerns regarding privacy and data security becomes extremely important, where you need a legal process in place. So what did we do to get all these things? We gave that, we gave the data transparency rules. We said how much time we'll retain the data. We gave a sunset clause for it. And importantly, we've opened up the entire source code for everybody to look at, to see what we are doing. And that is how we started building the stuff. But here it requires a lot more of psychological and humanities intervention here. So to complete the story, so the background here is there is an application development that is needed, where the client mobile means compatibility of 100 varieties of mobile phone, each working with some version of Android, some version of iOS. Then there's a backend which has a cloud, and that needs to scale. And then there are APIs which are needed for analytics. Then performance testing. So IIT Madras actually used the IITM open source tool for the same. There's a tool called Apido, which IIT Madras did. And a startup, Resilio, actually played a very important role in bringing the tool to a very good shape. They contributed to this, and this is now an open source tool. And this tool, we went up to 10,000 concurrent user testing. That's how 25,000 people, when they downloaded, when Honorable PM announced, immediately the software was able to take this load. And if you had gone for a foreign software, it would have taken a couple of millions of USD, right? And so that is the real saving. That's the Atmanirbharta that we got here. You will be learning about these tools and also these open source platforms, which will be essential for these type of systems and the cyber physical world as a part of your course. And there is a security testing. So advanced penetration tests were done, right? So that is also very important in this part. And then there is the data analytics, which was done on the background, and that is the datalibre.org.in. This is also an open source stack from IIT Madras, currently maintained, and you will be using this stack as a part of your education. And these are commercial grade open source stack, right? This has been installed in commercial organization, working very well. So if some of you start working on it, then you can actually make, you can have your own startup with these tools, right? And it comes license free. And IIT Madras is maintaining it for quite some time, and we will continue to maintain. And over a period of time, you will also start maintaining it your own self. So this is a very good way by which you could start your entrepreneurship journey. So there was a pre-production performance assurance that was done. What does it mean? I need to do stress testing. We're testing using multiple generators with no think time. Reliability testing, 5,000 concurrent users for 2 hours, 10,000 concurrent users, we went to that. Capacity planning testing, how much hardware sizing is needed, how much load scripting is needed. SLA based testing, we ran the script to achieve 40,000 requests per second. This is a service level agreement we have, right? So service level means this is what we see the public can do. Key transaction testing, whether the transactions are going on correctly, most commonly used transactions, are they performing correctly? And what we do is analyze all these test results and suggested tuning suggestions for the user interface layer, for the business logic layer, for the database. All these are there. There is a user interface, there is a business logic, and there is a database. And everywhere there could be bottleneck. We need to identify these bottlenecks and then get to solve this. And then when we come to this for security testing, the whole lot of things, application layer assessments and OS and architecture assessments. And within this application layer, we have authentication level assessments, access controls, are they in place, are they correct, are they strong, session management, data transmission security, encryption obfuscation, input and error handling, right? So can I enter the thing with you ask for a mobile number, can I put a script inside which can go and extract some information from the database? Data protection and lot more. On the OS architecture, so we have varieties of operating systems there. So is the web services and infrastructure on the cloud side, permissions model, residual data analysis, application licensing, etc. So all these things came as a part of our offensive assessment methodologies. So this is a data analytics technology stack. We use the Red Hat, we use PostgreSDB and ClickHouse, open source, Node.js, open source, engines, Apache Tomcat, AngularJS for UI design, Bootstrap, charts and dashboards were done in D3.js, DevOps tools were in Jenkins, cron jobs, shell scripts. Your API was in Postman, your performance monitoring tool, Apido, your data at rest encryption was AES, data on wire encryption was public-private key pairs at both ends, and authentication was two-factor. So all these things are open source, right? And we did a system which works today, 17 million users, 17 crore users, 170 million users working, kicking live. So this is where I just thought today that when we are starting this course, I wanted to give a feel of what it means to build a large-scale data analytics-driven system design. And the scale is there, large-scale data is there. But is it just a database education? Is just R? It is just a Python? Yes, these are all important. But beyond this, there is a lot amount of creativity that we need to bring. And that creativity will come only when we look at this thing as a holistic factor rather than sitting at one domain. And this is what I wanted to convey. And I hope all of you enjoyed this lecture. And now I will, now I'm going to answer some queries. So there is Vignesh Muthu. I'll just stop the share. I'll go to my video here. So Vignesh Muthu, just out of curiosity, how long it took to develop this kind of model? 24 days. And that is why we believe that India is big software power, right? 24 days, but sleepless nights. Whether the course is online or physical classes, we'll come to this, Ebenezer. It will be online now, and later there can be physical classes also, right? As it all depends upon the corona god. But online, we are all now got used to online. It's working nicely, and let us see this. Amazing. Thanks, Vignesh, for your comments. That was a great lecture. Right. Can you tie the whole initiative of funding to the program that we are going to join? Can you tie the whole initiative of funding to the program that we are going to join? The initiative of funding is different, right? The program that you are going to join, one of the important initiative of one of the important deliverables of the National Mission on Cyber Physical Systems is that we need to have human power, human resource developed in these areas who can handle these large-scale cyber physical system design. And this particular course is intended to be that basic building block for that. And this is spread across disciplines. That's why we opened it up to finance or insurance or anybody, transport, logistics, customer relation, anybody. We need to train them, right? And this manpower development becomes extremely crucial because suppose as an entrepreneur who actually wants to start a cyber physical system design startup, where will he recruit? We need this level of experience. It's not just a simple experience, as I tell. I just gave that case study of, if somebody wants to actually do a cyber physical, your credit card is a cyber physical system, your ATM is a cyber physical system, your mobile, any apps that you develop is a cyber physical system. So anything that you touch is going to be a cyber physical system. It's going to have an edge, it is going to have an intermediary, it's going to have a cloak. All these points that I have touched here will come there. And that's the most important thing. Okay. There are so many questions coming up. So I'm trying to answer. So let me just go up. So this was a great lecture, sir. Thank you. Professor Kamakoti, happy Durga Puja. Can you tie the whole initiative of funding to the program that we are going to join? Yes, I have tied this. Who all the course is addressing to? The course is addressing to anybody who wants to develop such type of a system, right? It can be an hospital, it can be a bank, it can be anything. Health sector, agriculture sector, any sector. Because wherever you want to handle data, wherever you are trying to build cyber physical systems, this is going to be very important. It is very insightful. After the pandemic, the course, yeah, we will enable the course in physical meeting. We really want to see all of you after the pandemic and whenever the pandemic ends. As of now, IIT is closed, so we are going to go ahead with online. And but all the assignments, etc., will all be done online. But you will get all the tools, and so the practical labs, everything for a computer science, that is easy. We can do it better online than offline or physical. That's also we are trying. We are seeing that first semester it was slightly going slow, but second semester now it's going super fast. Right, all our courses that we are doing, and the kids are also very happy doing it. Right. Can you share this presentation after the meeting? I'll think about it. Who all this course is addressing to, I have answered. What about support setup for the open source systems which are handling such sensitive data? That's open. See, the main thing is the support actually comes from the system itself. You will learn that there is enough amount of security that is built into these stacks, and this open source system is basically customized. So suppose some agency wants to do it. There is a startup who can take this as a job and go and actually implement it and customize it and maintain it. Because every time this is a generic framework, Data Libre is a generic stack. Now you can take it and customize for your needs. You yourself can understand how to do it. You yourself can put the security people there, and you can maintain your security, right? And IIT Madras is actually upgrading these versions, putting certain patches, putting certain performance enhancements on a regular basis. Is IITM-Pravartak only partner for such a large training? So it's not partner, we are the people who are training it, right? We are the people. Pravartak is the training. Pravartak is going to offer this course, right? And there are many startups who have taken this up. They can also train, but here we are going to train. The syllabus of the course is already put on the web. You can go and look at it. How the course will be useful for a banker? Of course, you are going to have your credit cards, you are going to have your ATM, you are going to make a lot of policy decisions. You're going to build a lot more of these scalable systems. And then you get all these data from your credit cards and your ATMs, and also your banking itself, right? Your core banking. Then you have to do a lot more analytics to find out what is happening inside your bank. And so this extremely becomes important. So the banker will be the best benefited. Not just banker, everybody will be very much benefited from this. What is the course priced at? It's also available on the website. Just curious, based on impact assessment on positive patients to contacts, do we know how much percentage many of contact go for COVID testing based on app recommended? App recommendation, almost all of them, but they do. There are people who actually go for test, right? But the exact percentage, we are not following it up. question, what will be timing for the course? We will announce it. It will be on weekends, and recorded lecture also will be available. If you are available, you can attend it live. If you are not available, you can take the recorded lecture. Recorded lecture will be put on that day night. What is the current data size which AF holds? Confidential, but it is in terabytes. If a testing background person joins, then how can course help in transition? Testing is, even if you are a tester, right, what to test basically comes from understanding the design, right? Design is crucial. So if you take a course like this, which is generic, essentially that will teach you what, even as a tester, why you want to transit. Don't even transit. Testers are the most important resources today, right? Continue in testing, but understand design. So for example, right, the best policeman is one who knows how the thief will steal, right? So the best tester is one who knows how the designer will design, so that he can go and test. Okay. Post-pandemic, whether physical class is mandatory? No, we are not going to make it mandatory. Whenever we do the physical class, we will also put it online live, so you can sit at home and do. So that's why we enable it pan-India, so anybody across India can do it. Then Arogya Setu app, it was meticulously designed to let the algorithms app to tell the patients whether he is positive or not. How are we handling negative scenarios like app glitch, where it fails to identify the positive? So we are not identifying positive case, right? Please, Arogya Setu is not identifying positive case. Arogya Setu says that there is a risk level. So it is basically an epidemiological level based on your contact tracing. Essentially says you have high risk, low risk. The identification is done only by a test. It can be an RT-PCR or antigen test, which is done by the clinics. So the app doesn't identify positive patients. With Google or Apple can see our identity or any user information, of course they can see. They can also know what rasam you have kept in your house, because automatically many of them post it on the web. Okay. So they know even your food choices. So what is not shared in the social media? Everything is shared. Right. I am in testing. How will it help me? And that's what I told you, right? So a policeman needs to know how the thief will actually steal the data. Okay. How the thief will actually steal. Similarly, a good tester is one who actually knows how the design will be. So these are the questions. With this, I will just wind up now, and I will request Mr. Nagarajan, who is our consultant, project advisor, to basically talk about the course, the content, the actual course, and how it goes, and then we will open it for question. Thank you very much, and happy Vijayadashami. Happy, it's a very important day, and I'm sure, I hope all of you enjoyed, and we look forward to more interaction, and wish you all the best. And I'll be online, and I now transfer control, change of guard to Nagarajan. Allowing you to unmute. You can unmute.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Professor. Hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you, sir. Once again, happy Vijayadashami to all of you. And this is a great initiative by the National Mission on Interdisciplinary System Cyber Physical Design. As Prof was mentioning, it's not just the data alone, it is the whole ecosystem around the data. That is what it's a big learning. What we have seen in the last 6 months of COVID is every now and then go to COVID-19 org and check. Okay, that's one thing that happens. I'm going to show you my way of welcoming you to data science and data analytics. Okay, so welcome to data analytics. welcome to Jurassic Park. So this is data science. So it's very amazing. Once you get inside, you'll be addicted to being inside. Okay. So now I'm going to show you just a quick thing. Everybody is familiar with worldometer. I see some numbers are changing only at the last digit. Some numbers are changing in 2 digits. Now, if I go down, some numbers are changing in 3 or 4 digits. Let me scroll down further. There is one thing that is changing in 6 digits, in millions every second. That's a cigarette smoked. What we are seeing is just a one page of information over here, aggregated information. But to get this number, there is a very, very big ecosystem around it, which will collect data from multiple data sources, multiple countries, and validate that data, then finally get this in real time. So that is what this course is aimed at, which is scale, speed, and security, the 3S principle. The fourth S is simplicity. It has to be simple. If it is too difficult, only a PhD guy can understand, nobody will use the system. So the way we have structured this course is scale, speed, and security. It is a 2-semester course. Each semester will have 150 hours of session. We plan to have alternate Saturdays and Sundays on that weekends. With this online work from home, we have completely forgotten that demarcation between weekend and weekdays. So, but still we mark this Saturday and Sunday as alternate weekends. We try to have anywhere between 4 and 6 hours of training on Saturday and Sunday alternate. As Prof mentioned, post-COVID, definitely we will have to have physical sessions as well. Now, one of the things is that 80% attendance is must. What we will do is, just to give a brief about this, you might have already seen this page. Many people would have seen this. It's a high-level topic, introduction to data science, data management, tools and techniques for data visualization. So we teach Tableau as well as open source Metabase in terms of visualizing. And more than anything else, it has to translate to business. The business, as in the Arogya Setu stuff, that last pin code level, village administrative officer level, that zip code, that post office level, that person has to understand, that health worker has to understand. And we need to give the metrics only for those people. It is not just the minister level alone. So business metrics, how we will be able to arrive at. And then applied business metrics. Certain things are role-based. So you will have GM, managers, vice presidents, appraisers. So at each level, there are key result areas, how these business statistics are tied up. Then this technology side of Python programming, statistics using Python, in simple terms, you will see whatever we have learned in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grades in terms of statistics. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation, all these things are extremely important. So that statistics will be taken, and most importantly, the systems design and architecture. And today, if you see, most of the development job descriptions are also having full stack developer. The highest degree of order is going to be full stack developer. Why do I need? Previously, it used to be you have to be just a C# or Java or just one area, front end developer or stored procedure developer. Now, why we need this? Because we need super set of people. What this course is aiming at, making each one of you to be that kind of a Superman or Superwoman in terms of data analytics. Not just the data part alone. The engine alone cannot fly. You need to have wings, you need to have wheels, you need to have propulsion. There are so many things to be there to make the plane to fly. So all these items, if you don't understand a system design and architecture in a very, very clear way, or if we don't understand how the performance will be done, then whatever we design, whatever we do in terms of analytics will work in the lab. It will not work on the runway. So what we need is a running plane and a flying plane in mid-air. So that is why we ensure the first semester covers the fundamental data part, the business analytics part, the business aspects of the data part, and then the performance and the design. The second semester, we are going to go to the uh, machine learning and artificial intelligence. So if you today say, for example, one of the hotspots predictions, that is where these models do come. So I need to have this zone. In the last 15 days, it has been like this. Now I see certain parameters are like this. What will be the next 15 days? That is where these regression models, machine learning models, time series models, and then you will learn TensorFlow, how to apply all these models, and then how to make it programmatically work. And most importantly, system data and security. What we are seeing is data is not just stolen from the OLTP, online transaction processing systems. In OLTP, you have got access controls, authorization controls, everything. Imagine from 100 different systems, you get all the data, dump it to one place, and somebody steals from that place if it is not properly secured. That is where this data warehouse and data lake, if it is not properly secured and there are no controls, you can lose the data collected with hard-earned effort. So the system's data security will take care of that. And another thing we have noticed, especially in almost every sector, is that people know the technology, but how to tie it to a project, how to make it as a project, how to make the project successful. What are the different key process indicators of different industries? If I have to work for, say, insurance industry, if I work for agriculture industry, what should I do? So we will take the project management aspects of it. In fact, we have been seeing a couple of entrepreneurs, a few people in the past, they have submitted the base after going through these kind of courses. They have submitted their proposals. There are incubation centers which have funded them. So there is an entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is the highest level in terms of taking the risk. So if you have that appetite for risk, and with data analytics part, you can do wonders. And each semester, we will have graded assignments as well as ungraded assignments and an exam. What we'll do is we will have a Google Classroom, which will completely open up all your announcements, all the material, whatever that has been taught on that day, sample programs, everything will be published in Google Classroom, and you will be given access so that it will be readily available to you in one single place, number one. Number two, your graded assignments will either go through multiple choice questions or through a programmatic way, and you have to submit back that assignment. There will be an evaluation. And at the same time, there needs to be a project work. When I say a project work, it will be at least having 2 people and then max 3 people in a group. So we will give you data sets. We will give you tons of data. And then you have to do that kind of what is the expected output of that based on our requirements. And from time to time, we will also have review sessions for this project work. It is not just like we all did for our semester studies. No, it's not going to be like that. Last 15 days, it's not going to work. So you may have to continuously work for that. And from time to time, we will have intermediate reviews. And almost every month, we getting industry experts. So there will be somebody who has achieved something in a great milestone in terms of data or ML or AI. We will bring that person to talk what all the difficulties that you have faced, because the lessons learned are the biggest thing. Whatever way in my last 27 years of career in getting all these things up, I fell and then I stood up. Then I learned. The same pitfall you should not go through. So we ensure that the lessons learned in the past are all given to you. Same way, industry experts will also give the lessons learned and then give it to you. Those sessions are extremely important. You need to attend that. And at the same time, what we want to do is also encourage people to present. There may be some completely tangential subject, but the common line will be data. So we definitely encourage, as attendees or students, You can be willing to present maybe for 15 to 20 minutes. You can treat this as like a mini TED talk within our groups. The reason why we do that is there may be a whole lot of things. Let me give you a very short story. The way Flipkart was born, the Bansals were in Amazon before that. They were analyzing the shopping cart abandonment. Why they choose the product, they search for product, they go through all the details, they spend 5 minutes on the page, they come to proceed, go to the cart, then they abandon the cart. So they analyzed this, finally got one data point. Okay, all of them were converging to, okay, the reason why the shopping cart was abandoned is because they did not have a debit card or a credit card. It is just one data point. They analyzed tons of data, found out one sweet spot, then they changed their model. They came out and then they started Flipkart, they made the model cash on delivery. So giving the cash on delivery, how did it come? It came through the data. That data gave that insight, and then now it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So same way, one data info, one information, one piece can bring you billions of dollars or rupees. So to find out what is that, you need to analyze so many things. I cannot get a PhD degree just like that. So I have to go through all these exams, differentiation, integration, so many things. Same way, there are so many things that you need to go through, but it's a practice and it's a journey. To the extent possible, we will make it highly interactive. We will make it interesting. From time to time, we will be putting even memes on this thing so that you will feel it very live rather than a boring subject. But data is an addiction. Once you start getting into the data, right? Then it will be so much, you will start immersing into the data. So we will also help you how to tune yourself, how to develop passion towards data. It's not that easy. Initially, it will be very difficult. But once you develop that passion after maybe 1 or 2 weeks of some regular exercise, data will be extremely addictive. Then you will never leave that subject. So that is the way we are expecting. We don't want to create a very, very normal person who knows so many things. We want to ensure that any of these topics within this data, ML and AI, in this area, business analytics part, I don't look at how insurance industry is operating. I don't look at, for example, Professor Kamakoti is not an epidemiologist. Prof is not a doctor. Prof is not an insurance agent. Prof is not a field village administrator officer. But he is able to predict this pin code in another 7 days will going to be a pink spot or a red hot spot. How? He is dealing with pure data. And that data goes through so many phases, finally arrives at it, and then you look at very critically, then you can do that. Today, there are medical sciences, advancement in medical sciences. With a thermal image, they can detect cancer. With a thermal image, they can even detect septic shock. Without even having that medical knowledge, the machine can definitely tell. To that extent, industry is moving so fast. We are generating zillions and zillions of data than we consume. If you look at the last 20 years, initially the computers came, LAN was there, data was X amount, it was only this much. Then internet came, it became this much. Internet with dial-up, this much. Internet with one good bandwidth, this much. Internet with mobile, it becomes so many things. It made wonders. So much of data got generated. Now, IoTs, so many sensors, right from garage doors to microwave oven to your wristwatch to a bag or a tag tied up to a geotag tied up to your pet dog. Everything is now having IoT. It is all generating data. Somebody is looking at the data. If you are able to look at the data in the way the business looks at it, Tomorrow you can be a billionaire, you can fund us, not a problem. And I'll tell you one other story. 2 years back, I was searching in my phone, in my office, in my PC, about route to Tiruvannamalai. Tiruvannamalai is a town in Tamil Nadu, okay, where Kartigai Deepam is famous. So I searched for it. This happened on my PC, on a browser, at my office. That night, I went home. In my wife's mobile phone, Ola app was showing planning to have tour to Tiruvannamalai for Girivalam. Discount coupon is XYZZ. Okay. How did this come? What is common? My PC, its IP address, my browser, my cookie, it's all data. And Nagarajan moves to his house. There's a lat long. There's a router ID. The same router ID, my wife already logged in, Ola is installed. There may be a tie-up with these two people. We don't know. And definitely they have, because they share the roadmaps. From that, from all these data points, they collate, they push you this information. This is, they have not seen us just a pure data play. And if you look at the valuation of Uber and other things, they are much bigger than the auto companies. They don't make a single bolt or nut or a car. They don't maintain a car. They don't oil the car. None of the drivers are their employees. What makes it extremely interesting is the moment you start playing the data play, it becomes extremely useful. And that is what we are looking at in terms of the course, not only just the data, the systems around the data and the scale of the system, the security of the system, and if you are part of the system or if you are the head of the system, how to manage that development of the system. Then if you have got some experience on this, how you can even start a startup in terms of using fundamental data science techniques. So this is the course that will take you right from raw data to raw data from multiple sources, identifying which data to collect, to how to put it into a database, to get how to get the business metrics, how to predict, and how to use, how to present it to the management. So the entire travel, the entire journey, we will take you through step by step, 50 weeks. And Vijayadashmi is the day on which I joined my first grade. I still remember that day. And this is a standard tradition in Tamil Nadu. On Vijayadashmi Day, people enroll themselves in education. Okay, I started on Vijayadashmi Day only. So I still remember first grade, first day. Now, on this auspicious day, on this, thanks for the opportunity given by IITM-Pravartak. Even now, I'll tell you one more thing before I wind up. If you take the name Pravartak, okay, now as a person who has done some amount of work in the linguistic side, I can say Pravartak, 3 syllables. In all the 3 syllables, vowel A is there. Okay, so rather than simply saying that, now I see a pattern. There's a third, the vowel is in the 3rd position, the next one is in the 2nd position, next one is in the 2nd position. So it's a 3-2-2 pattern. So a data person will not only look at just the text, that person will start looking at in way different angles. That is what is our aim. We will try to tune your mind to look at the data in a different angle. The Adivasi, before understanding what is shame, did not wear clothes. One moment came, the first person, how to take and then wear it, right? It took a million years. Now what we are doing is the data is right in front of us. So much of data is right in front of us and we are not consuming it. For the Adivasi also, the leaf was there, everything was there in front of him. He did not wear. Not because of shame, he has to protect also, right? But the thing is, the data is right in front of us. It is like a chessboard. The chessboard is open to you and to your opponent. You know the opponent coins, I know you know my coins and I know your coins. But what you do not know is what is the move I am going to make. So same way, data has got certain things open, certain things are hidden. It is our job to make sure that you are tuned to see this data and its inner aspects and how to present it to the business and how to make money out of that. That is this course. And with that, I will stop my session. Okay. Uh, Thanks to IIT Madras and CPS for hosting this course, and we will ensure that this course is going to be a smooth breeze for everyone. 1 year from now, 50 weeks from now, right? We expect each one of you to teach us. This is what we learned, and then we expect you to surpass us. That's our wish. And with that, I hand over the session back to Professor.
Thank you, Nagarajan. I think it's a wonderful presentation. You can keep the screen up. So you can just go a little up, and this will be the sample certificate that will be provided at the end of this course. So the details about registration to this course will be circulated for all who have attended this launch ceremony. To your email, we'll be sending this, and to your mobile phone and SMS will also come. So you can register for this course. All the registration details will be put on the web. Classes will be on weekends. It will start on November 7th and go for 50 weeks. Will be on weekends, and live classes. Recorded lectures will be uploaded that day night. And beyond the pandemic, we will also enable physical classes, but still the live telecast will, live webcast will go on for the course, and it will also be interactive, like how we are doing here. Okay, so this is one. The next is please provide a breakdown of number of hours for each content. We will be doing that. How many hours of the 300 hours? We will be doing a full-fledged breakdown. This will be a practical course. We want to teach you how to make systems that will work on the field, rather than a theoretical course. So we'll not budge you with so much of mathematics and this. Rather, we'll tell you applied versions of this, but we'll certainly keep you abreast of where is the intervention of theory that makes practice practical. Okay, so that is the most important thing that we will do. Yes, so I think question 2 I've answered. So also the fee payment will be in 2 installments. We will put all those details in the web. It will be in 2 installments, of course. And are the course material available even after the course? Yes, the course material, the lectures will be uploaded. You can download and keep the lectures, right? And but we will not. I can't ensure you how long I can maintain those lectures. Every time the lecture is there, it will be uploaded and with a download option. So you can download and keep it, you can save it in your list. There's absolutely no issue. So that is one from Ms. Tamilarasi. I think I have answered all the questions which Rupak has put and Ms. Tamilarasi has put there. Do people need a pre-set up required on premise / laptop for students, or will there be a virtual laptop? No. So essentially, laptop is a must here. The reason is that we want you to put the software on your laptop and start executing and continue to have it. Because at the end of this, we believe that at least 10% of you become entrepreneurs trying to solve a large-scale data problem. I think that's something that we are looking for. That's something which, or for your organization, you make a large-scale software. That is something that we are looking for. It's not a course that you learn to put in your biodata. Of course, you can put in your biodata, but more importantly, you use it for and make a living out of it. So that is our intention here, and that's what India also needs today. As a country, we need that. So we will suggest that you actually have a laptop. We will also give you the configuration of laptop, not be the big ones, right? Very small ones. But there you install all the tools. All the tools are of course open source. You don't need any license, and you work on your laptops. You do your projects on your laptop. Have it with you, and keep a backup of that so that you have the entire infrastructure completely under your control, right? So that is the thing. I think that is Sriram's question. I've answered that. Any other questions here? So always I count 1, 2, 3, 4. By that 1, 2, how much per week do we need what? How much per week do we need? How many hours? See, there'll be all required tool work in Windows OS, Nagarajan, Windows OS. One minute, I'm enabling this.
Oh, yeah. See, many tools will work in Windows OS. At the same time, certain tools need to be installed on Linux. For those things, we will provide either VMs or Docker images to you. So either way it will work. And if you have a basic Linux system, you can install all those tools as well. Because that way, it will reduce a whole lot of licensing and costing issues. So that will be given to you. It will not be a virtual lab, so it has to be installed on your laptop. It is better that you have many people think you should have 4 GB RAM. It is better to have an 8 GB RAM. If you are really having that, then it will be really good in terms of seeing the speed and then dealing with large amount of data.
Right. Any other questions? The certificate will be an e-certificate. It will be and also a physical certificate. We like to actually have a convocation at the end, right? To give all. We'll try to invite some big person and give you a convocation talk. Okay. What is the storage? We will give you completely on what is the storage requirement of the laptop, etc. It will not be so big and all, right? So it will be reasonable and which is normally available, but exact storage requirement also we'll tell you. Large scale data, what is it? 1 minute, just. Rupak, large scale data analytics based system design. Large scale data analytics driven systems design. There will be an analytics there. Yeah, this is the certificate. Will have an analytics. Large scale data analytics driven systems, right? Certificate will be program name is large scale. Yes. Do we have provision to ask our doubt after the classes? Of course, we'll enable a blog where you can ask these questions and we'll also answer. We are all teachers, professors. We love answering questions. Whether the answer will be correct or not is a different question altogether. Okay, right. Okay, thanks.
And in many cases, the Google Classroom itself is having a conversational stuff so that there are fellow students. So learning from Sakai is always a blessing, right? So that will also happen. There will be a lot of sharing, execution done by people. Also, it is not that all classes will be giving only thing. There will be certain portions, almost alternate weeks. There will be some sessions, at least 1 or 2 hours in terms of doubt clarifications from the previous things, because if you keep on pouring on the pot, it will not start overflowing. So we will ensure that you are clearing all these things then and there. And all these things will get documented, plus everything will be put under Google Classroom. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Again, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. Start typing before that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I hope all the data provided or used in lab or privacy are secure to use across geographies to avoid violations. Of course, These are all anonymized data which will be used for your lab assignments and projects. Yeah, so we will take care of that. And okay, so Kaushik has answered some part also. Then any other questions? Again, 1, 2. Please share related / reference. See, one thing we want to be very clear here. Of course, we will share where you can download the code and some material, but this is not a textbook oriented course. Okay, so whatever we are talking of is from a experience. Okay, that is the difference between a normal course where it will not be a textbook oriented course. You will not find answers in Google. So these are something which will be extremely different from that aspect. Okay, and so are many courses even within IITs, where the notion of having the field is changing so fast that people do not. By the time a textbook actually comes out, the field has already changed. Okay, so this would be an experience-oriented references. So we will give you some references, but it is not a textbook-based course. So let me be upfront tell you that this all comes from this thing. Okay, Anthony, I think I've answered your question. Anything else? One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I think it's time to conclude. Now, thank you all for coming today and making this launch very good. I hope to see many of you back in the course. And also, please spread this message to friends. India need more than at least 1 million such people, and I don't know how many are there. Not even surely not 6 digits. Who can actually handle this level of complexities. We need within the next few, probably 1 or 2 years, as the 5G and other communication systems come up, we will need millions of such people. So we are very happy to offer this, and I hope many of you will join this course and benefit from this course. More than joining, it's a benefit that needs to come out of this. With these few words, again wishing you.
Professor, I just
yes.
want to interject one point over here.
Yes.
One of the things, as Professor mentioned, is that it's a very practical course. We want to ensure that people really do. One thing is very important is that if there is a full toss, I need to hit it. If there is a overpitched ball, I need to just loft it. I know the theory, but if somebody bowls at 145 miles per hour in front of me, I don't know whether I will be hitting or I will be losing my stumps. So that is the skill. So we are not looking at just knowledge. We are looking at the skill of how to apply the knowledge. So it will be both concept as well as the practical work. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to introduce Professor. Many of you might have seen the profile of Professor. For those who are new to this session, sorry, sir, I'm just giving a half a minute introduction about you. Professor Kamakoti is a senior professor of Computer Science Department, IIT Madras. He is the Associate Dean of ICSR in IIT Madras. He is a member of National Security Advisory Board. He and his team has made the first working microprocessor Shakti in India, indigenous microprocessor from India. So he knows up to that nano level programming as well as how to make a chip at a transistor level. And he is the person behind one of the chief members of Arogya Setu Committee and Data Analytics Committee. And I asked him, what is your secret of being young? He said, work 28 hours a day, you will beat the time by 4 hours every day. So you go back in time. So welcome to data analytics. We will all become young when you work 28 hours a day on this data analytics. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nagaji. I don't know, 28 hours will keep you young, I don't know. But anyway, thanks a lot, Nagarajan, for your kind words. Yes, this is very important and we need to move forward. With these few words, I also again wish you a very happy Vijayadashmi, and let us all pray together that we get rid of this COVID nonsense at the earliest possible time, and let us all come out mask free. Let us show our face and smile at the world. With these things, so I just sign off today, and we just sign off today, and we will be getting all the details about this course. So pass this information to your friends also who would be interested in taking this course. Thank you very much. Uh, Happy day. Stay safe.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
one and all. Stay safe.